Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here.
Yes, welcome to being here.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Shaya, and the name of the episode is Dating, Relating, and Mating.
Yeah, it's it
Ooh.
kind of like rhymed. It can go together or not because there's,
Well, I'd like to talk about listening
yes.
because if you're going to talk about relating, most people haven't learned the art of listening. Listening is intentionally setting aside what you already know to hear what another person has to say. It's hearing what they have to say without commenting in your thoughts as they're speaking. It's not easy because you're not used to it, but it can be done. It takes a little practice, that's all. To allow what another person has to say without interrupting them in your thoughts. You don't have to say it out loud. You comment on their choice of words, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you already know this, where is this going? Is it important? Is it unimportant? And so rarely do we just allow another person to say what they say and we hear it rather than and let it come in, get it rather than comment on it in our thoughts. So that's the game, to be able to listen to another. What will help is to use your eyes. Now I know this is a
Audio only generally for people, but still, when you are dating and listening to someone, when you're relating with them, and mating is a very interesting term because it could be intimacy, physical intimacy, could be finding your mate.
I have an old Chevy Suburban truck and I had a radio in it that had Bluetooth. But then Ariel gave me a new Bluetooth phone and it's an upgrade, And so that phone would not pair with the radio that I had. So now I have to get a whole new radio so I
Darn.
can get them to pair.
But it's a little bit like some of us. We don't naturally pair as far as listening to each other. And by the way, we didn't mention that we finish each other's sentences. And sometimes one of us will be going somewhere, another one has something to add in, and we stop and listen to each other. It's a really lovely way to relax into being with one another.
And to relate, dating, relating,
Yeah, and so
relate.
what I was thinking of in terms of listening,
Yes.
in terms of physical intimacy, if we use mating as a fun term for physical intimacy,
Yes.
uh, if you're not listening to your partner, not necessarily the sounds they're making or the words if they're speaking, although it includes that, but it's like listening with your hands, sometimes with your eyes, to be here and hear when things.
The energy,
Mhm.
how you're moving as one or together or apart. If you're here for it, you'll see that the energy changes as you interact. And
Yeah.
that,
So
yeah, so there.
luckily, we have a couple of guests today who will support us in having conversations. But it is possible
See,
that you will have questions. The game is to let go of your questions and fully engage and hear what the guest's talking about, what Shy and I are talking about.
because it's interesting, what you think will support you may not be what you need. There's an Einstein quote that you can't solve a problem from within the system that creates that problem. And so we all have an idea of what we need. And frequently, what we need is not what we think will support us.
So putting attention on your question, trying to get things answered doesn't help. Being here, things take care of themselves.
That's right.
All right, so let's
Start with
take our first guest,
Ursula.
shall we? Hi.
Hey,
Hi
hi.
there.
This is Ursula in St. Gallen, Switzerland.
So lovely to see you.
Yes,
Oh,
really.
so happy to be here and nervous and excited and terrified and
Now, it's
Well,
interesting about that.
what are you nervous and excited and terrified about, my dear?
well,
Because before you answer that, I just want to add something. We see you regularly, as many times as 2 or 3 or 4 times in a week, depending on the week. There, you come to the Living Made Easy seminars on Saturday, your time.
yes,
You come at midnight, your time, Monday night, Tuesday morning for Living Made Easy. There's the Tuesday evenings. You have conversations with us with folks who are, and I, who, volunteered to do things for our community. So I've never seen you terrified. How are you approaching this differently that you're terrorizing yourself?
that's such a good question. Well, spring is here, and I chose to go back on to online dating just a few days ago. And it's not my comfort zone, definitely not. I'm comfortable in myself and I feel valuable, but my brain is doing somersaults around this topic. And I'm on a dating platform where you can choose some filters, like you can choose from where, how far the person should be, and how old they should be. And that's like, what should I write? I know so many lovely couples that have a huge age difference. And I just, and sometimes somebody who's 10 years younger seems so old to me. Sometimes somebody 20 years older seems so young to me. But it's just, yeah,
Well, look, Ursula, let's start by slowing down a little bit.
I like that.
Okay. Now, first of all, you you you're looking for, apparently from what you've said, you're looking for the one.
Yeah.
You're not on a dating
No,
platform.
no, you're
You're on
on.
the sort for the one platform.
That's right. See, dating, well, first off, you're comfortable with yourself, you say. Well, that's an interesting thing. Most people are not terribly comfortable with themselves, so that gives you a leg up already. Uh, but the idea of being with or around another person uh, can be a little intimidating, especially if you like your privacy, if you like your independence and doing things your way.
Yes.
But you're looking, from what you've said, you're looking to find the one.
Not
Somebody
looking for
not
some fun.
not looking for fun, not looking to go out for a coffee or a walk in the park. It's more, this is the permanent one. Got to get it right.
Well, if you even stop with the very basics, you're setting up yourself online and you have these filters and it's like, I want to do this right. How do I
Yes.
get the correct
Yes.
framework? Well, one thing is if you make it wider and you start meeting people and you realize that that mismatch is due to age, you can go in and change the filter. It's not like once you have the filter, it's written in stone.
Yes. Yeah, there's just this judgment about anything that they just popped up like out of the forest like that when I was setting it up. And I thought, I don't know myself like that. This is really strange.
Well, you've chosen isolation rather than interactions.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at your life, you've chosen to be alone rather than be with somebody. You reject you before they can.
And Shad's not talking primarily about COVID.
No, I
All
don't.
of us got more isolated during COVID, but over the time that we've known you, whilst you peripherally dated, uh, it's been rare that you've connected with someone that you would consider a steady relationship or a boyfriend. That's not really been your style.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So wondering if you're pressuring yourself to go for
Well,
relationship
you
when that
you
may
you
not be what you want.
right. You are pressuring yourself, you see, to find the right person rather than, you know, discover who's out there. Discover if you're compatible. Can discover if you enjoy having coffee together, enjoy talking together, enjoy being together. If you like yourself more when you're around one person than another,
Mm-hmm.
like you're trying to find the perfect, complete. It's imperfect, this dating thing. You you'll find yourself attracted to somebody and they might not be attracted to you,
Mm-hmm.
or you'll find yourself not attracted to somebody and they will be attracted to you, and then you have the problem of how to deal with that. See, it's about discovering how to deal with life when it comes at you from multiple angles.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you've been intelligent about it all. You
What do you
keep
mean?
things, I'm going to tell you what I mean. You've kept things under control.
Mm-hmm.
See, because you've filtered your choices by not putting yourself out there to date, then there's very little to confront as far as worrying about being rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Part of
And
it,
a lot of, we all worry about being. I get rejected regularly by my cat.
Yes.
I do my best to not be too intrusive so she won't walk away from me. But fact is, unless she's hungry, she's just not. And there may be a hint in there.
or in a mood. Some moods, every once in a while she gets in a cuddly mood or I
That's
want
right.
attention. But when we go after her, it's not generally her cuppa.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be the way it is with relationship as well. I don't know.
But let's go back to a word you used and then Shai used again, filter. If you have a filter that says you want somebody within 20 kilometers or in the city or 50 kilometers or anywhere, uh, when you're looking at that, it depends on what you're looking for and telling yourself the truth. I mean, if you say, oh, as far away as Italy, there may be somebody who you might just enjoy conversing with. There may be somebody close at hand you'd like to go for walks or coffee. You may want physical intimacy, you may not. It really depends on what you have interest in. Now our cat is crying.
She heard us talking about her.
Love it. Yes. Yes. If I only knew what I want.
Well,
Well,
actually, you do know what you want.
if only you would tell yourself the truth. The challenge with telling yourself the truth is you've been installed with standards. And so your truth you may not approve of. That internal standard may not approve of. I want to hook up with somebody and only have sex and never see them again. I don't want to have sex with anybody and anything in between.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a certain download of what's good and what's bad, whatever you move forward to do is likely to challenge that standard.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I see.
The other thing I wanted to mention is you're up on a dating site.
Mm-hmm.
You've spent the last number of years not only listening, and particularly in this last year, you've done a lot of Zoom type things, like now actually, where you're having intimate conversations, where you're practicing listening. you get on a website, there's a high density of people who are very insecure. You shouldn't be surprised if every time you touch that website,
You feel insecure.
Aha.
and then if you're okay with being insecure, then if I say, oh yeah, Ursula, I might like to date her, then but I'm insecure, I'm more likely to feel okay in myself, less judged. You're going to see more authenticity from people if you're okay with yourself for being insecure when you're insecure.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really about being kind to yourself.
Yes.
And may have an idea of how you're supposed to go ahead with this thing, but you could just discover it, Ursula, as a discovery, not as a decision going forward in time, but see how this feels or that feels, and then go from there. Don't have to get to the end of how it's going to turn out. You can keep discovering how you are in the midst of this.
Yeah. And
I
it can
I don't know if you
change.
can hear her. She's going crazy.
Ah!
She's such a fetch.
She's like, no, Ursula. Um, one other thing, Ursula, I'm I'm sitting here, I'm enjoying you and watching you, and we also have known you for many years, and we know your mother as well for many years. And every once in a while, you'll have a thought, and I see your face rearrange or morph. You suddenly look like Rosie, and I also think that that's a key for you. Remember when I talked about how you have old ideas or downloads, and you're like, well, I don't approve of kissing on the first date, or I don't approve on not kissing on the first date, whatever those earlier programming is. Some of your earlier programming is looking out and seeing what your mom would do and doing the opposite.
Uh-huh. Yes.
If
Yes.
you're,
If you're at all normal.
normal,
Yes.
you know, or it's like I just won't let her know. I mean, early things, and you are very sensuous, very much like your mom, and um, I think you should embrace all attributes Rosie-esque in you.
I
You'll
love
have a
that.
lot more fun.
Yes, she is a lot of fun.
Well, so are you.
Yes, so am I.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
That'll be interesting to go to the site next time
Yeah, I'll tell you.
as a discovery.
It, we did a recording for a radio show or the podcast recently, and one of the guests was just so articulate, more articulate than we'd ever seen him. And then the producer said, hey, would you like to do a spotlight, like say what you're getting, what works for you? And suddenly when his attention turned on him, he was less articulate, he was kind of fumfering around. I think that happens for you too when you put your attention on you, how you're doing, how you look, instead of looking and seeing and being there. And if it,
And deal with the feelings that show up. Allow yourself to have them rather than try to get away from them.
Yeah.
the answer is not going to come from inside your head. It's going to come from out, from what you
Good.
see, what you sense, what you feel from the profiles in front of you.
Great. Thank you. Wow. Now I'm
You're welcome.
excited.
You were excited before. You just
I was. I lost the rest.
you just had your brakes on. That's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Hey, it's time for the listener feedback spotlight.
It's where we get to hear from people in this amazing listenership and transformation community talking about what's happening in their lives.
This is Dagmar from Hamburg in Germany. I used to think that in order to be a better person, I would have to be hard on myself. And here in this community, I learned from Ariel and Shaya Kane and from everybody else who hangs out with them that really it's much easier than that. It's all about relaxing and getting into the moment. And that feels so wonderful. I can't even begin to tell you about that. It's really, really magic. You should try it.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Our Living Made Easy seminars are really amazing. Come, join us, meet some of the incredible people who listen to being here and are part of our community from all over the world. Just as a reminder, this Saturday coming up, the following Monday, etc., there is no seminar. We're on vacation for the first time in a long time. And so the next Living Made Easy seminar will be on Monday, June 7th, and then Saturday, June 12th. For those of you who are German speakers like Ursula, Swiss and German, the ones on Saturday are bilingual and Tuesday as well. The next weekend seminar we have coming up is Magical Relationships, and that's June 26th and 27th. And then Creativity and Intuition, August 7th and 8th. If you want to know more about our seminars, that's easy.
Visit our website, transformationmadeeasy.com.
And if you'd like to join us, you'd be welcome. All right. Should we take our next guest?
Please.
Bjarne.
Hello, this is Bjarne in Hamburg, Germany.
Hi,
Hi,
Bjarne.
Hello, I'm really excited to be here. It's awesome.
It's awesome to be with you.
It's very exciting to have you on our show.
Nice.
Podcast.
I have at the moment a bit some, I would say, like problems with myself maybe also, because I'm meeting a good friend, a girl at the moment, for also sometimes like movie evenings. We know us now for a longer time already. And it went a bit like some feelings came up for me. Oh, I like her quite much. This is since she's not in a relationship anymore. So it was quite surprising for me. And so it was like a question for me came up. Is it, if I like a woman or man, for example, very much, is it possible to approach things too quickly or too slowly? Because I had the problem also a bit in the past already.
That's a great question. So if I use our relationship as an example,
yes,
I met Ariel. She was working in a chiropractor's office, and I was a patient there. But we didn't date until one night when she came up to me at an event
and flirted.
And
we flirted for quite a while, but we had not had any direct, gee, it would be nice to go out with you type.
Yeah.
So we never went out until we went out, and then we went out, and we've been together ever since.
So in answer to your question, no, you can't go too fast and you can't go too slow.
You can't do it wrong.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll tell you what'll make it not work, and that's if you have attention on how you're doing. If you have attention on yourself. And what'll make it work is you bringing your attention to whoever you're on your date with.
Okay.
Get
so like put the intention from yourself away.
Get interested in them rather than try to prove that you're interesting.
And I'll tell you, if you're, so you've been going with this gal for a while and out to movies, she doesn't have a relationship anymore.
No.
And so now you're starting to find her more interesting, more in a dating sense, that you might like to do other things other than just go to the
Yes,
movie.
not really like I don't need to be like relationship. I'm not sure about that for myself, but it's just yes, I like her, and what comes out at the end, we will see then. This is like the future, but to come her a bit more near, and yes,
And here's what will make you go farther rather than nearer. When you're around her and you start thinking, should I ask her if she wants to go out again tomorrow, or is that too soon? Or I would like to kiss her, but I'm not sure she wants that. And you start having a
yes,
conversation with
yeah,
yourself, which is normal. That's what people do. But there's another possibility where you say, I'm thinking about, I'd like to take you out tomorrow, but I don't want to rush you. I'm wondering if you might think that's too soon.
yeah,
I'm thinking of kissing you, but I don't want to, bother you. What do you think? Like you could actually take what's in your thought process and
and
communicate
let the
Express
other
it.
person know also, so get like a
Yes,
reaction from her.
or participation from her. So,
Yes,
you're trying to I have to assume, because we were chatting before the podcast, Bjarna, you're 18, you'll be 19 in the summer, and you're finishing up school,
yes,
that the amount of dating and relationships you have are a little narrower than some of the listeners. You just haven't had as much of it.
yes,
So it's normal to try and figure out how to do it right. But
all right.
I found that with Shia, for me, for some reason, it was just easier to tell him things that I might have considered embarrassing topics with somebody
At
else.
the top of the show, we talked about listening.
Yeah,
If you really listen to her, that's very attractive.
Or him or them. We're using her as an example because you
yes,
have a specific. We're not trying to aim you toward one gender or one
yeah.
person.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because I really like the time and I'm feeling good in myself also being around her, and actually wanted to meet the next day more, but she canceled the meeting, and I was a bit also disappointed because every time we say we do, for example, on one day a week we meet us for a movie, and I'm excited the whole week for this day because the time with her feels really great, and I am feeling great in myself also, and just to listen to her and she talks about how her day was is like gives me also like a good feeling.
Yes.
So is she canceling your once a week date from time to time, or when you ask her to go more?
No, it's time to time the week, for example the weekday. Sometimes we say also, hey, let's do it on another day, and for example something spontaneous comes between that, so we try to find another day, but her week is also quite full, so it's not easy for like a official date. I would say now I've not asked her yet.
Well, Bjarna, I believe you when you say you think about her and you get excited all week, and when you get to be together with her, it's you're excited to hear about her day and all that. I believe
Yeah,
that. However, what you haven't caught is the excitement is within you, and that if you focus all on that one person, it's certainly a lot more comfortable. But you may want to find other or additional people of interest to have a movie with, or a coffee date, or go for a walk, or have a Skype or Zoom date. um, we've just found that when you pin it on one person, you don't recognize, gee, I'm excited to see Bjarna. Oh, I'm excited to see Shia. Oh, I'm excited to see Sandy. Oh, I'm excited to see Ursula. You don't realize that you contain excitement. You think it's that person causing it for you.
yeah. All right. So it's like try that. That's interesting because I had the same like topic or already the, I would say, like problems in the past, because I was all time like focused on this one person and were like disappointed when it wouldn't work out because I didn't
Yeah.
have another opportunity, for example.
And you're putting a pressure on them to fulfill all your needs. And that's a
Ah,
little tough.
yeah.
And that
people.
may be what's appearing as, am I going too slow or fast? It's neither. It's that if you're putting all of your attention on that one person, they may not want to be the recipient of that, or they may not be comfortable with that yet. Case in point,
Okay.
when Shy and I first got together, I was had been dating different people
Yeah.
at the same time. And even though from the very first time we were together, it was different and he was the one. If he had said, okay, now stop dating everybody else, it would have been too much pressure. We probably wouldn't have made it. He was very smart. He said, yeah, keep dating people. At some point, you'll just have to make a choice. It was like, okay. And then I'd go out with somebody and it'd be like, well, this isn't any fun. It's not as much fun as Shy. And then I wouldn't go out with them anymore. And then pretty soon there was nobody left
Oh, there was Shia left.
Yes.
because he was fun.
Okay.
But I found that being able to have it organic like that, at least for, some people find somebody right away, they get together, they're high school sweethearts, they marry, they're together forever. That wasn't the case for me. I found being able to,
And it wasn't the case for me either.
All right. So like keep a bit more open and not like the focus.
you
Bring
know,
the focus a bit open. So also my like the attention from me and the excitement can be a bit more spread out and no pressure on the other. I won't put so much pressure on the other person then.
can I tell you, you just gave us back a very perfect version of change and dictate to yourself the problem solution. The problem is I've been putting too much pressure, and now the solution is
not as
not
much
as much
pressure.
pressure.
But yeah.
Look, baby, you can't do it wrong.
Man, we've
Ju-
done everything possible wrong with each other.
That's right. And we're still together.
And I'm sure
and
you've
loving
seen
it.
it with your parents too, that your dad and his mom and your mom and her
Yeah.
newer husband. It's like,
There's no one way or the perfect way.
that's true.
We-
And look and see how you feel with people. If you feel good about yourself when you're with somebody, that's a good thing. And if you don't feel good about yourself, find somebody else to hang out with.
And if they don't feel good about themselves with you, who needs them?
True. All right. Cool. I
Yeah.
think I will next time I will also meet her or look who can I meet. I will think about that and just say I will look where I'm feeling good.
Now, look, our approach is not planning for the future.
Yeah.
It's about seeing how you feel when you're with somebody and not figuring out what you're going to do now when that happens.
In
Okay.
fact, you said it earlier that you have been in the habit of thinking about her all week and getting excited. And while that feels really nice, I can get how that could feel really nice and be pleasant. You might want to just keep investing in whatever you're doing so that you are like this charged battery rather than a needy person when you finally get together with her. You get,
Yes.
you take your attention, off there and put it to where you are. Then when Bjarna walks into a room with that young woman, you'll be with her and she will feel it. If you're always thinking about
How the future is going to turn out, you're never here for the moment. And this is where your
Yes.
life is unfolding, in this moment, not in some future moment.
So sometimes just enjoy the moment with her instead of look what can be in the future.
That's
And
right.
miss
Don't-
the time at the moment.
Yes, don't worry about where it's going. Allow yourself to experience where you are.
but you can also enjoy the time without her.
Yes.
If you're enjoying your life, you'll enjoy yourself with her or without her.
You know, in our relationship now, mind you, we've been together multiple times of what you've been alive. So, you know, we enjoy being alone. I like to, for instance, walk around and see things and take pictures. Shai loves to go to the river and fish. Sometimes we go together, but we do a lot of separate things. And I'm not like going, oh, Shai is out fishing. Yeah. You know, like I'm not thinking
Yeah.
about him. And then when we come together, we're like these filled,
And we discover each other newly
yeah.
rather than think we know who we're going to meet.
Oh, yeah, that's nice thing. It's, gives some new, like, gives me new view for the
Possibilities.
meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know one other thing, Bjarna, I know that you're newer in the looking at hanging with people and in a dating kind of way.
Yes.
Um, you can't do it wrong and you can't blow it. It's
If it doesn't work out, find the next one.
Yeah.
You just keep discovering you in relationship.
And get some experience also, and
yeah,
so
experience.
no worries will not help.
Yeah, but at the same time, your inexperience is not a liability.
That's right.
Because in my dating life, I was around a lot of people who had a lot of experience, both sexually and dating wise, and I was around other people who had virtually no experience. And frequently, the no experience people, it was even easier to be with them because they weren't trying to pretend they
Knew
had it all
something.
together, and we could discover things together rather than them trying to prove that they knew it all already.
Yeah, I think also in experience is more also fun because it gives much a bigger chance also to experience some things, and that is
That's true.
also to experience together. This is every time a nice thing to experience together new things, new ways. That sounds good.
Good.
Well, what a treat to be with you today. When we
Yes.
saw your
Was-
name, we were like, oh, wow, how cool is that?
Oh, it was really exciting and nice, and thank you also for the time.
You're welcome. Thank
so
you for
welcome.
joining us.
Yeah,
Awesome.
excellent. Well, that was really fun. And by the way, for any of you who would like to be on this podcast with us, you can go to our website, transformationmadeeasy.com/being here, and find out how, or you could submit a listener spotlight like you heard in the middle of the show. Next week's episode is your background, the springboard to greatness. Yes, we often want to get rid of
Where we came from.
Can't
But
do
you
it.
can't do it if you want to be great.
Really a treat being with our guests and being with all of you today and being
Yes.
with you.
Well, thank you.
It was a date.
It was a date.
It was very sweet.
Sweet.
All right, we'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't miss
Being
being here.